Welcome everyone to the sixth Wednesdays at noon session of the 2022-2023 academic year and the final session of 2022. Today I'm pleased to introduce Jay Bhatt, engineering librarian, for this session using databases and industry codes for entrepreneurial research. Before we get started, I want to run through a few housekeeping items. First, we are recording this session and I will send a link to the video later this week so you can revisit the webinar at your convenience. We also ask that you stay muted throughout the session. You can enter questions in chat and we'll discuss at the end. As you settle in, I wanted to mention a few other events we have scheduled as we complete fall term. Today, Professor Girija Kaimal joins us in Haggerty Library at 5 p.m. for the in-person event, Body-Mind Wellness Through Art and Creative Self-Expression, an interactive workshop. Then on December 5th, we kick off our annual scholarship event series. This year, each of the 3 scholarship events will explore the theme of climate change and sustainability. Finally, on December 6th, the Drexel University Library and Archives Student Association, DULASA, hosts their 5th annual STEM librarianship panel, co-hosted by Penn Libraries, and featuring our very own Jay Bhatt as a panelist. I'll drop a link to our events calendar in the chat so you can read more about these exciting events. We hope to see you again soon. And now if we're all set, I will turn it over to Jay.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for your nice introduction. Welcome to my session on using databases and industry codes for entrepreneurial research. And my name is Jay Bhatt. I'm the engineering librarian in Scholar Connections Department at Drexel University Libraries. A little bit about this particular session and why it is important. We are going to focus on industry codes, and these industry codes are useful for any discipline, whether it is engineering, whether it is medicine, whether it is business. So it's quite interdisciplinary in nature. So we focus on that aspect and see how these industry codes will helpful in doing company research, doing industry research, doing market research, and so on in variety of different industries. And we will be focusing on these 2 different library guides here. And a couple others are also highlighted in there. So let's go to the next slide. And for innovation and entrepreneurship, there's lots of initiatives happening in various universities, whether in institutions, in corporations. And these are the drivers of motivations of current economy, technology transfers, and business startups. And of course, industry and academic partnership. As I mentioned, interdisciplinary nature. And all of these kind of initiatives require researching business information, market research, competition, industry information, and so on. And we will focus on North American Industrial Classification System. We call it NAICS from US Census. And using this system, first we try to understand the system, and then using this system, we will use different databases like ABI Inform, Mergent Intellect, and even a couple of databases like Engineering Village and Web of Science to find business information. And this is a screenshot for our library guides, and the link is right on the top. But you can see that we have a variety of library guides in different subject areas, including arts and sciences, humanities, social sciences. We are focusing on business and economics, and of course, using a biomedical technology example, which is covering a lot of interdisciplinary connections between engineering, between biomedicine, between health sciences, and so on. So all these different resource guides are available in variety of disciplines. Entrepreneurship, public health, nursing is also there. And here is one example of biomedical engineering library guides, and you can see the couple of them on biomedical technology commercialization and culture program for market research, and many others that we can refer to. And if you go to that library guide, there's a category for North American Industrial Classification Codes for industry classification. We'll try to understand what this means later on, but on our library guide, we have highlighted a few of those examples. If I want to know how many companies are involved in surgical and medical instrument manufacturing, for example, I can use this code 339112, and we'll use this as an example later on. But each medical industry or each construction industry, for example, will have their own code. So if you find codes for your particular industry, you can follow these guidelines into finding industry and market information for your topic. So we'll start with discussion on NAICS codes and how would this help in company research, right? So if you go to this particular website on the top, if you click on that link, you will see NAICS Lookup tool, which is North American Industry Classification System from the US Census here. And you can see the history and federal registered notices and so on. And you can also search by codes. If you want to know a particular code for your industry, you can just search here. But recently they have also launched the 2022 search. So this is the most recent. So I am using the most recent example of finding codes uh, for industry classification. So all different industries are classified with certain code, and we are looking for finding those code for those industries. Since we are interested in the surgical and equipment industry, so you can see that under 339112, when I search for it, you're pulling up a lot of different things here. But I can also go to the website and look for 2022 NSIICS, and then you will see different sectors and definitions for each sector. And this is a manufacturing industry. So I want to find code for surgical instruments for within medical industry. It's kind of manufacturing. So I want to expand this. So I will keep on expanding this, and until I find this code of surgical and medical instrument manufacturing for this particular industry. So you can also see that there is a dental equipment supplies. There is a different code for it. There's a ophthalmic goods manufacturing. There's a different code for it. So if you are interested in ophthalmic devices, for example, or products, then you are going to use this particular code. So depending upon the your industry, you are going to pull up that particular code, and then you're going to search for those codes, and you're going to pull up all relevant in companies within that industry. Okay, so you're going to look for your codes in this particular site, depending upon your industry. I'm using medical instruments as a particular example for finding industry and market information. And then we'll also explore the question, can I use them in different databases that we have subscription to our libraries? And we'll then try to look at different companies for this particular code. And we will, using this industry and company information, we'll also compare competition among those. So this is very important that we understand this, how it works. We are going to follow these steps today. Using this code, we are going to find top 10 companies, for example. We'll sort by the highest income. So those companies with the highest incomes will be sorted. And then we'll use one of the company and use that company to find competition for those companies. If anyone interested in looking for jobs or co-op or internships, then they can use indeed.com or many other different databases and library guides that we have to find internships, for example, or co-ops. And then using NAICS code for your industry, you have a particular specific industry on your area, and you can follow these 4 steps. So you can apply whatever you learned today in your own category. And this is our library guide on biomedical technology commercialization. And if you notice on the left, you can sort by industry research, you can sort by company research, company financials, and a lot of different things you can do. There's a category for market research, intellectual property, patents, and so on. And we will focus on Mergent Intellect as one of the databases today, which is an active database of private US international companies. You'll find industry news, company news, and more. Usually I start company research in Mergent Intellect, but I usually go to advanced search because that is where you will be able to find the field where you can search by industry codes that we just talked about. But you can also search by company or executive or industry and new business like here. So I went to advanced search within Mergent Intellect and under industry category because we're looking for industries. When I click on that tab, I will see that there is criteria for NAICS code here. So I'm going to use, now we know what code we are looking at. So I keep on expanding. Again, we are looking at manufacturing code here. You can see different codes here for construction industry, oil and gas extraction, agriculture, fishing. So all different industries and different codes, but we are focusing on medical equipment and supplies, where surgical and medical instrument manufacturing is here. So I'm going to mark this and then click on search here. So then when I did this search, we found almost 8,791 companies for this particular code. So the powerful tool, we are only looking at medical surgical industries, and using this code, I am now looking at all those companies. And you can also filter your results through it. You can look at all different employee types, your sales. I'm looking at sales information. So that's why when I look at the company results, when I scroll down underneath, you will see a list of all those companies like this. So these are all the company names, and this is all sorted by sales. You can see here. So I can clearly see that these few companies which I have a screenshot of are the top companies with highest sales here. And there you will also see the locations here. Beckton Dickinson, which is in New Jersey area, Stryker, but they can have a different locations within different states also. And we'll use example of Stryker Corporation to understand more about these companies. What do they manufacture? What are their products? So you can see there are three primary segments: medical surgeries, orthopedic, neurotechnology, spine, and so on. Or trauma, they can trauma implants and other orthopedic supplies, artificial hip, knee joints. So a very powerful category of different products that they manufacture. You can actually see the financial details, company overviews you can find. And when you look at the news area, you can see this is as recent as of 23rd November, just last week, when I created this slide. You can see the latest patent on patient support apparatus with side rail, which was highlighted. Now you know that they recently have this patent, and I want to learn more about it. I can explore in our library guide in patent searching and medical devices, get more details about it. So these are, you can see that just in couple of days, so many news items that you can find in Mergent Intellect. And you can see when I scroll down, I can also see the NAICS code that we use to find this surgical and medical instrument manufacturing, their sales, and so on. And I want to find the competition for that company, right? I want to see how many of those companies that I could also consider applying for the job, or doing some industry analysis for my design project, or you can have a lot of different applications. If you are an engineering student working with a business student or it could be a health sciences medical students, we are working on a medical innovation aspect, and you are trying to participate in a business plan competition through our entrepreneurship program at Drexel. You need to justify your proposal using all these different data, like the competition and industry details and all of these different categories you can explore. And these are top competition here for this company. So I am now finding more companies that I can explore. And surrounding companies is also available, because then this will help you are planning for the interview in this Boston area, for example, and using surrounding companies, we are also able to find companies in that area. So you can schedule a couple of interviews at the same time, for example. Then if I go further, look at financial details, I can see the income statement, total revenues. You can see for last 4 or 5 years how the total revenues have changed, increased, and you can get some idea about the company itself. And then we want to also explore any other databases that we could use. How can I find company information using databases like Web of Science? This is a great way to not only find research coming up from institutions and top universities, but you can also find the research in the area you're interested, which is funded or coming from corporations. So how can I do that? So you can use limit by corporations in author affiliation or author address field, right? So we can go to this library guide where we will see databases like Engineering Village or Web of Science. There are many other listed, but we'll get an example for Engineering Village here, for example. And suppose I want to find the research on drug delivery applications in which biomaterials are used. So it's kind of a biomedicine, biology, medicine, um, biomedical engineering, all of these are integrated within that. And I'm using company research for those different areas. So author affiliation, I'm using corporations within US, and these are all different suggested terms there I'm also saying, right? So then I can see a couple of records here. I'm not going to go details of Engineering Village, but just showing you some examples of what different author affiliations are also listed. And these are all companies. So now I'm going to I can do more research about these companies. And when I go more details about the record, I can see that this particular company, well, these authors have published this particular paper is in California, and then you will see where this article was published, which is from the annual meeting of the Society of Biomaterials, International Biomaterials Symposium. So this is how you can do more research about this. We also have access to Web of Science database. You can find from our library main page under databases by A through Z list under Web of Science, or various library guides also have those. And again, I'm using all fields as an example for biomaterials. You can use your own topic, but here I'm using address as a filter. And I again want only corporations. I want articles coming from companies so that I can do more analysis about those companies and market competition and industry. At the same time, also finding research information on that. So here is one example here, and I'm going to use this an example from this. And when I click on this link, I see that this particular article was published in a journal called Spine in January of 2022. There is an abstract, author keywords on 3D printing, and so on, protein, so a lot of biology, biomedicine, biomedical engineering connected here. And it is from a company. So it's a collaboration between industry and corporations, right? So here, Northwestern University is collaborating with Dimensionix Incorporation in Chicago. So this is what we want to find out. Is there any industry partnership with universities, for example, in your area of research or product development? And then you can explore more. And under A through C databases list, if I search by business and economics, for example, I can see a business database like Business Source Complete, ABI Inform, industry databases called IBIS World. So now I'm searching in ABI Inform, and remember we were using North American Industrial Classification Codes. So can I use NAICS codes in ABI Inform to find articles published from different companies on that particular industry? So how do I do that? And have little steps highlighted here. To access industry information, you go to ABI Inform and you need to go to advanced search, and then you click NAICS code field, and at that time you will be able to search for the code. So I went to ABI Inform in advanced search, and underneath you will see the NAICS code field. I know my code 339112 for my industry that I'm looking for, and any articles on biomaterials related industry. So when I do that, I will find those articles here. So here is a couple of articles I found. And suppose I'm interested in this worldwide orthopedic biomedical biomaterials industry 2030. So you have almost like 9-10 years of additional data in terms of outlook, for example. So how is this industry will look like? How is my product in this particular industry will is expected to perform? This kind of market forecast is very important when you're designing a device and you're looking in terms of technology transfer and startups. Is the company that I want to start, where, should I invest in this product? What is the market outlook? What is the industry outlook? All this data. And you will see information like global orthopedic biomedical materials market reached a value of this many million in 2020, and it is telling me that there is an annual growth rate of about 10% since 2015, and till 2025 at the rate of 14.6% it is expected to grow. So now I have some data about market growth expectations for my industry, and I can include all this in my proposal if you are writing for a startup or for a business plan competition that I want to participate in, and so on. So how can I find more details about industry now, right? So we also have access to IBIS World in A through Z list under business databases also listed, and our library guide biomedical technology commercialization under industry research. You will also find this IBIS World industry report data in various industries. And I can just type my keyword, and I'm interested in medical devices, for example. And medical devices is an area where we have seen various disciplines are also interested, like biomedicine, of course, business development, technology transfer, medical innovation, and engineers within various different disciplines within that. And you can see all different view reports are available. And you can see here that under medical devices, there are several that came up, but I'm highlighting two of them here. Glucose meter manufacturing in the US. You know, diabetes is a big problem, insulin delivery, and what is the market data industry development in that you can explore under life sciences category. And medical device manufacture is within the manufacturing in the US category. And you can see all different products like pacemakers, hearing aids, electrocardiographs. Very top, very important medical industry products are covered. And it also tells you the major companies involved, like Medtronic, Abbott, General Electric, and so on. Boston Scientific, Johnson and Johnson, and many of these are local companies in Pennsylvania, New Jersey areas. Also, there could be like Johnson & Johnson and so on, Medtronic. So if I go further, I can see key statistics about this, and you can start exploring from the left menu, industry at a glance. This is that particular section. Annual growth, what is the positive in the impact, mixed impact, what are the strengths, and so on. So this kind of data you can find. What is the profit margin? So if my product is related to medical device, I have some idea about what could be my profit margin possible. And you can explore all of these different areas. So under what is this industry about? What do they manufacture? It tells me the details about this. Here, I can also search for industry reports using North American Industry Classification Code, right? So I have my code for medical instrument and supply manufacturing, which is 339112. This is what I'm searching for here, and medical, surgical, dental, and so on, different instruments. And if I look at industry outlook category here, outlook for the medical instrument and supply manufacturing industry is positive, with revenue forecast to grow at an annualized rate of 1.6% to $101.8 billion over the 5 years to 2027. So it looks like it is giving me some really positive outlook. And if I'm starting a company within that area, definitely I want to consider. Of course, I'm going to collaborate with other experts in the field, in teams. So working as a team in collaboration with other interdisciplinary aspects is very, very important. And this was my last slide, my contact information. I'm in Scholarly Connections department at Drexel University Libraries, my email and my website. And if please have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me or ask me. We can also set up a Zoom session for consultations. I believe in asking questions, and I like to answer questions as well. And this will really help us to understand your information, this needs, so we can provide the right, steer you to the right direction. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Thank you so much, Jay. Very informative session. Do we have any questions from the audience? If so, either feel free to speak up or throw it into the chat. If there are no other questions, then thank you all so much for being here. This will conclude our session. Thanks again, Jay.
Thank you very much, Rachel and Stacy. Thank you all.